Hi, I'm Madison and welcome back to my channel. Today I have some billionaire romance recommendations for you. So we all love reading a good billionaire, millionaire romance. I mean, we love reading about these men, these rich, powerful men who just shower their women with all these amazing money and gifts. It is one of the best escapisms you can read, honestly. I live for it. The guy being like, let me take you for a private date on my jet all the way to Paris. And I'm like, yes, thank you. Or he'll be like, I'm gonna send you this Oscar de la Renta dress to wear on our night out date. And I'm like, oh my God, please. Or he'll be like, oh, I heard that you want a new coffee maker. I bought you a coffee shop. I've never actually read that before, but I could see that being one. So without further ado, let me get into 5. I think it goes without saying that I'm going to recommend The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. I mean, the series is called The Dreamland Billionaires because it follows 3 billionaire brothers. And so far I've read the first 2 books in this series and I've loved them. Therefore, I can recommend both of them. So the Dreamland Billionaire series follows the 3 Kane brothers. They are basically going to be the heirs of what is kind of like a Disney conglomerate. So like think of how Disney has like Disneyland, but then like Disney movies and all that kind of stuff. So when their grandfather passes away, in his will, he leaves each of the 3 brothers a stipulation that they must fulfill in order to actually inherit their portion of Dreamland. And so for Rowan, which is the brother for this book, what he must do to inherit his portion of Dreamland is he must spend 6 months as the creative director of the Dreamland theme park and like create like a brand new ride. And so that is what he is there to do. So he's come to Dreamland to do that for the 6 months. It's not like what he likes to do. He likes to be like kind of the numbers guy like behind the desk. And he's now there stuck being a creative, and when he gets there he ends up meeting Zara. Now Zara did used to work as one of the like makeup artists for the princesses, but she has just been promoted to the creative team to actually help come up with ideas to create the rides and to better them and those kind of things. And she's super excited. She's super sunny. This is like one of the ultimate grumpy sunshine relationships that I've ever read, only because Zara literally shits rainbows. Like that girl is like vomits sunshine. Like it comes out of her mouth and it's just like bubble gum. I can't even, like, it is nuts, and I loved her to death for it. So the 2 of them meet and they instantly like don't hit it off. They get off on like the wrong foot, and what ends up happening is there's actually a bit of a case of like mistaken identity where Zara ends up kind of texting with Rowan but not realizing that Rowan is Rowan. And so they end up also forming a friendship, and then it turns into a relationship, and it's a whole thing. I love it. I love the whole theme park setting of it all. I loved how Rowan was this like really stoic and like grumpy guy who didn't want to be there, and then how through his time with Zara he kind of like starts like letting down his walls and becoming like fun and loose. And they also have like some of the best banter. Their banter is absolutely hilarious. It is so laugh out loud. Like, if you need a book to get you out of a reading slump or to just make you like genuinely happy, pick this one up. He's also, like I said, a billionaire, and he ends up at one point, listen to this, at one point he finds out that Zara has a favorite romance book author. He is friends with said romance book author, and he ends up asking that author to do a book signing and ends up flying Zara to said book signing to meet said author. Bruh, that is next level shit there, okay? No one can top that. No one. Could you imagine? That would be like someone being like, oh, this guy I'm dating is friends with Sarah J. Maas, so he set up a signing for Sarah J. Maas and then flew me out to go meet her so that she could sign my books. Dead. Deceased. Marry me. Instantaneous. I'm just saying. So, that's this one. Next we have King of Wrath by Anna Huang. This is so amazing. This has actually quickly become my favorite Anna Huang book. I wasn't sure if it was my favorite because I really do love the Twisted series, but I do think this is actually maybe my favorite. So in this one you have got Dante Russo, who is a billionaire CEO who ends up getting blackmailed into an arranged marriage with Vivian Lau, who is a jewelry heiress and actually an event planner. Now, Vivian has no idea that Dante is being blackmailed into the arranged marriage to her, because it turns out that Dante is being blackmailed by Vivian's dad, and it does not go enough well, because Dante doesn't trust Vivian as far as he can throw her. However, because he hasn't told Vivian and because no one else has told Vivian that he's being blackmailed to do it, Vivian's also pissed because she's like, then why do you want to marry me? And why are you being a whole dick about it? I mean, you can just leave me. You're the one who agreed to this arranged marriage. You didn't have to do it, but he's secretly like, I did have to do it. So, it's hilarious because I love the two of them together. They are definitely like a hate to love arranged marriage romance, and it is one of my favorite hate to love romances. Vivian is such like a boss ass bitch. Like, yeah, she is like an heiress, but at the same time she kind of wants to like have her own life and her own career, and so she's doing like all of her like event planning in that way. This is also takes place with like Manhattan society, like Manhattan high society, Manhattan socialites, and it is one of the best I've ever read. Like, it is so much fun to see like all the glitz and glam of like the really rich like Manhattan elite. It is so much fun. I was living for it. It was such a great time. It was a really good one. I absolutely adored it. Next we have A Not So Meet Cute by Meghan Quinn. This is hilarious AF, this book. I literally read the first chapter of this and was dying of laughter. Lottie, the main girl in this, she is a riot and a half. This is one of the funniest books I've read of all time. So you've got Lottie and Huxley. Lottie is really down on her luck and she needs money. She really needs money. So what does Lottie do? She decides, I'm gonna walk around Beverly Hills in a really cute athletic gear outfit and hope that I can run into a rich man who needs a wife. She's like, I'm all out of options. Let's give this a shot. I don't care. I have nothing left to lose. And you know what happens? Lottie is out there. What does she bump into? Huxley Kane, who is a very, very rich billionaire CEO. Now, Huxley needs a wife. Why does Huxley need a wife, you say? Well, that's because Huxley is a dumbass that put his foot in his mouth because he's trying to secure this partnership for his company, and the guy that he's trying to like kind of butter up has a wife, a pregnant wife. And Huxley says to this man, oh, you have a pregnant wife? What a coincidence. Me too. I too have a pregnant wife. When he has no wife, not a pregnant wife, he doesn't even have a girlfriend or a romantic love interest at this point in time. So he's like, shit. So that's how he and Lottie come into an agreement, and Lottie agrees to be his fake pregnant wife. It is hilarious. It is so funny, especially because Lottie is just so real, because off the bat, she's like, oh my God, this is a great idea. And then when Huxley is like, okay, let's do this, she's like, maybe this isn't a good idea. Am I crazy? Like, I don't think this is actually a good idea. And like, as it keeps going on, she's like, what is going on? It is so much fun. It is absolutely hilarious. I loved it. The sexual tension, everything is so on point. I highly recommend this one. It is so great. Next up, we have got Praise by Sarah Kate. This is a age gap billionaire romance. So you've got Charlie and you've got Emerson. Now, Emerson is one of the owners of the Salacious Players Club, and the Salacious Players Club is like a kink club, basically. A really high-class, expensive kink club where people can become members and kind of explore their own kinks as they would like. And then you've got Charlie. Now, Charlie has just broken up with her long-term boyfriend because her long-term boyfriend sucks titties, okay? And after breaking up with him, they had an apartment together and she needs to get the security deposit back from it. Then the problem is that the security deposit went to her ex-boyfriend's dad. So she's had to go to her ex-boyfriend's dad's place to go pick up her security deposit. When she gets there, however, she is mistaken as the dad's newest sub. Yep, you heard that correct. So she ends up accidentally getting confused for her ex-boyfriend's dad's sub, who is Emerson Grant, the owner of Salacious Players Club. And what is happening is after he, remedies his mistake of, thinking that she's one of his subs, he actually offers her a position as his assistant. So she agrees to become his personal assistant, and it is their romance from there on. There's an age gap between the two of them. I don't remember exactly what the age gap is. I think it's more, it's definitely over 15. It's probably like 20-year age gap. I think she's like 20 something and he's 40, maybe. I don't remember, but it is so good. Obviously it's praise. This is a huge praise kink book. And what I really love about this is the fact that Charlie, she's never really been into kink before. She's only done like vanilla shit. And so this is her actually learning about kink and what kinks are, and kind of like delving into the kind of BDSM world. And I really enjoyed that. I thought it was like a really great way to kind of show this, and I really do recommend this to people who are also a beginner for spicy romances, because it kind of takes the time to kind of explain everything to you, and it can be like a really great place just to kind of like get a feeler to see like how you go for different things. Also, there is no daddy kink in this. I was so afraid. I hate the daddy kink, FYI, if you didn't know. And there is none in this, which is also really good. And I don't know, I really love it. I haven't read the rest of the series yet, which I don't know why I haven't, because I've really enjoyed this first book. But they're all like super cool and smutty and like different books, and highly recommend. The last book I have for this recommendation video is a bit of a cheat, because this is like a billionaire romance recommendation video, and I'm about to recommend you a millionaire. I know, big difference, but Lola and the Millionaires. Technically, if you combine all the guys that she's dating who are all millionaires together, they probably equal into one billionaire, okay? So we're gonna say that it counts. This is an Omegaverse book. If you don't know what Omegaverse is, I do have a video on my channel explaining Omegaverse and introducing it to you, just an FYI. So this feeling Lola, she's a beta, and she has recently just come out of a very traumatic kind of sexual assault situation with a alpha, and she's very traumatized by that and doesn't trust alphas anymore. She's kind of gotten to the point now in the book, begins to kind of like go back out in society and like kind of try life again, and she ends up getting a brand new job. Now, the night before she goes to her new job, she goes to the club, she goes to this beta bar, she meets this really amazing beta guy, they hit it off, and she kind of is like, oh my god, I think, you know, this could be like the one for me. Until the next morning, she finds out that he's actually in a pack and he has like an alpha, and she's like, oh, I don't think I can do that. Like, I would love to keep seeing you, but I can't, you know, I can't see you and your pack. I can't see alphas. Like, I can't do that. He's like, that's fine, don't worry about it. She gets to her job the next day. There are alphas there. Lo and behold, what would you guess? Those alphas are not only the alphas from that beta's pack, but these alphas also have sense that she is like in love with, and she's super, super attracted to them. So it's kind of her romance with this pack, and kind of like beginning to like trust and heal again from the traumatic experience that she had with these amazing, extremely rich men who would like literally lay down their like lives and all their money for Lola. It is absolutely amazing. I love it to death. Just to know that there is that trigger warning for her prior PTSD to sexual assault, and that kind of like goes throughout both books in this duet, but it's so amazing. And if you're wondering just how rich these guys are, I mean, there's a lot of different ways to explain it. The Omega, when Lola's shit gets stolen, he like rebuys everything in like tenfold, and he like loves to give her gifts, and he just like keeps buying clothes for her and hoarding them and then giving to her slowly. And then the other guy, the beta guy, he wakes up at Lola's place one morning after their like one night stand, and is like, oh, she doesn't have anything to like make breakfast here, and I want to make her like breakfast in bed, like, you know, to be nice. So he like go puffs or like Uber delivers like a waffle maker and waffle making like ingredients overnight in like 5 hours to her apartment, so we can make her homemade waffles when she wakes up. Like, bruh, life goals. That is to be taken care of, just saying. So, yeah, those are my 5 billionaire romance recommendations. Please let me know down below what your favorite billionaire romances are, because I definitely want to be checking out some more. And if you did enjoy this video, please click that button below. If you want to see more of me, please go to my channel, and don't forget to check me out over on TikTok and Instagram. And until next time, thanks so much everyone. Bye-bye.